What's going on guys, McGinley Customs here, and welcome back to the channel for another video tutorial on Zmodeler. On today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make your reverse lights flash on your non-ELS vehicle model. Now a little disclaimer, I'm going to be showing you it with the reverse lights on this Ford Police Interceptor sedan, however it works in the same premise as anything else. For example, if I wanted to flash, just an example, the front indicators, it would be the exact same process. Just follow the steps closely and you're going to do it correctly. Once complete, your vehicle model should look something like this in game. I'm going to throw a video over the top now. I appreciate I made a video tutorial on this probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, but what I didn't show you is how to do the Carcols.meta, and what I didn't show you is how to make sure that it is bright and it doesn't look dim, which I think a lot of people are having issues with. So I thought, hey, it's been 4 or 5 years, it's 2026 now, let's make a new video for you guys and show you how to do it the proper way. Before we go any further with this video guys, I thought I'd just make you guys aware of my Patreon system. On the Patreon system, you're going to be able to access exclusive tutorials, you're going to be able to access exclusive vehicle models that you can use in your own 5M server, you'll be able to access exclusive development assets made by myself that you can use on your vehicles, you'll also be able to access lots of other cool features, as well as a cool tag in the Discord where you will receive further support. At the moment, we're currently recording a pretty cool series on the Patreon, whereby we have a vehicle model which is on screen at the moment, and we're building it up one by one video at a time. For example, episode 1 was completing the ram bar with the push arounds and setting up the collisions properly, so it actually acts like a ram bar in game. Episode 2 was on creating reflective liveries and how to do them properly so they actually reflect in game and look as real life as possible. Episode 3, you can see a preview on the screen which is going to be dropping in the next couple of days, is going to be how to do light bars, custom patterns, and also making sure that the Carcols.meta is all set up correctly. All the time I get messages from you guys asking me if you can get some further help, learn from me, or even get one-to-one support. So I thought by making the Patreon and the Discord it would be the best way to help everyone. At the moment, we're having frequent uploads. This week alone we've uploaded 2 vehicle packs and 3 tutorials, so it's very much the best time to join up. On the screen I'm putting a little bit of a summary of what's on the Patreon, but if you are struggling with modelling and you do want some extra support, or you want to fast track your development career, definitely join the Patreon and I'll be able to assist you so much further. Anyways guys, that's enough from me. The link for the Patreon's in the description. Let's get right into the video. Okay guys, let's dive right into this. It's not too much of a very complicated process, to be honest with you. It's quite straightforward and easy. I will go through this as slow as possible, step by step, to make sure that you guys get the hang of this. The first thing we want to do guys is we want to identify what we want to flash. So for my example, I'm going to be using reverse lights on this vehicle, but like I said, you can use the headlights, the indicators, the brake lights, anything you want, but I'm just going to use the reverse lights on this one. So what we need to do guys is we need to try and find the reverse lights node in the hierarchy. So as the reverse lights are on the boot or the trunk, whatever part of the world you're in, I know that it will be in the trunk hierarchy. So if I come here to the boot and I open it, as you can see we have our reverse lights here. We can verify this by going to the bottom, clicking hide all, then ticking them and seeing if they appear. And as you can see, here they are, they have appeared. So what we want to do is we want to go into quad R and we just want to highlight over our reverse lights. If you're using any of the other views, for example like this, it would look like that, they will go red. Once they're red and you've highlighted what you want to do, you want to copy them by going to create, copy and clicking on any screen. As you can see, we have 2 copies here, one of each reverse light. We simply want to hold control and click both of them, right click, link in, unlink. What we want to do from there guys is we want to hold left control whilst still having quad R selected and just deselect them so they turn black. If in your hierarchy the originals are still having a red box, just click them once and it will disappear. Once you've done that guys, we can close the main hierarchy. And as you can see, we have our reversing light, or whatever you've copied, the copies are here. The first thing we want to do straight away guys is we want to hold control and click both of them so they're selected, and straight away we want to click dismiss here. What that does guys is it un-LODs it. That means that it's not got a level of detail anymore, so essentially we just have one to work with. When you un-LOD it, you always want to select the top ones in each of them like that. Simply just drag them out, then you can delete the parent dummies just like that. If you're with me so far guys, you should still just have your 2 reverse lights like that. The next step, guys, is to remove any properties or IDs that are assigned to the reverse lights or whatever you've copied. Essentially, as they are working reverse lights, there are IDs and stuff that get set in Zmodeler that tell Grand Theft Auto when you go into reverse gear, display these lights. So what we need to do for that, guys, is we can simply just select both of the lights with Quad R, come up to properties here, click on external state and make sure that the ID is 0 and click apply. Once you've done that, we want to go to vertex mode up here at the top, click on the screen, select them, and if you've done it right you should have these long lines coming out of them. Go to external state again, press 0 and apply. Then what you want to do, guys, you want to go to polygon mode up here, click on the window, select them, make sure that they're highlighted like this, go back to properties, external state, and make sure that is also set to 0 and click apply. Once you've done that, you can just go back into object mode by clicking here, and then you want to go to surface, normals, calculate normals, and click anywhere on the screen. It might not do anything, that's absolutely fine. On some models it might make it look a bit funky. However, what this does, it takes off any settings that you have on this light to tell Grand Theft Auto that it's a reverse light, so it will not be dim and it will not be dull. Okay guys, so once you've done that, that is pretty much the hard part over and done with. What we need to do now is we need to make sure that the lights that we have copied are kind of sticking out a little bit, because essentially if we leave them in the same places where they were before, they're going to overlay and they're going to clip with the original reverse lights and it's going to look really funky. So what we want to do that is we simply want to come to modify, move, select the Y tool, come to the top view here and zoom in a little bit. We want to go to the main car hierarchy, open the boot or whatever you've copied it from, zoom in a little bit closer and move it out just a tiny bit, as you can see there. Once you've done that, you can simply just close the boot and you can come back to your reverse lights here. Now the next step is us going to be setting up the sirens. Now this is going to be a non-ELS model, and since my last upload about 12 decades ago, there's been a new script installed called Siren Settings Limit Adjuster. Now that is an excellent script because essentially before that you only had a limit of 20 sirens. That really limited how many lights you could put on the vehicle, and it really limited how creative you could be with them. Although we're not going to be using 32 sirens on this video, I'd highly recommend downloading that script and using it, as it unlocks a lot more potential within your models. So we don't have any other lights on this vehicle at the moment, so we know that Siren 1 and 2 is available. So we're simply going to name it Siren 1 and the other one Siren 2. Once you've correctly named your sirens, what you want to do is you want to go up to select, Quad R, and select the 2 sirens or however many you have. Go to display and you want to click reset to world, click anywhere on the window, reset to parent, click anywhere on the window, and finally this one here, which is center local axes, click anywhere on the window. Now if you've done it correctly, there should be an axis in the middle of each light. Once you've got to this stage, simply create a copy, and as you can see there's a copy here in the hierarchy. Select the 2 copies by using control click, right click them, convert to dummy, and if you've done it correctly you should have 2 blue squares in your windows. Now these blue squares are dummies and they control the axes. What you want to do is you want to put the corresponding sirens into the corresponding dummy. For example, Siren 1 goes into the Siren 1 dummy and Siren 2 goes into the Siren 2 dummy. Now if you're with me so far, your screen should look a little bit like this. You should have your 2 lights or however many lights you're doing it with, your 2 dummies or however many dummies you've made, and in the hierarchy you should have Siren 1 and 2 like this. If I untick the parent, you should see the dummy disappear for both of them. Now guys, the next step will be to move the dummies back a little bit. Like I said earlier, the dummies control the axes, so if we move it back a little bit, it stops there from being any clipping at all. I think in some models people were seeing lights that are actually turned off still appearing just in a very small way. This is going to fix that. So simply hold left alt and click each dummy like that and they should go bright purple. Go to modify, move, and you want to move them back ever so slightly. The idea for this is you want to make sure that the dummies, the center of the dummy, so the axis is not showing visibly. So as we can see here, it is still showing, so we want to move it back just a little bit more. You can always check it by coming up here to the properties whilst having the dummy selected and click off of solid, click apply, and as you can see it gives you a little bit of a better view. Now I'm satisfied that the center of this dummy, I'm here in the bottom left window here which is showing a top view, I'm satisfied that this dummy, the center of the dummy, the axis is hidden within the light housing. Once you're happy with the placement of your dummies, you can simply press Shift and D, and that deselects everything. You want to hide your boot and then come back to your windows. Now if we use a top view, so if we go to one of the view windows and go to top and we find our lights and zoom in, as you can see we now have 4 sets of axes. So to fix this, we simply want to just select the lights, so do not select the dummies here. This is really important, do not select the dummies. So what you can do to avoid this is hold left alt and click siren 1 and 2. Do not click the dummies, click the actual mesh like that. If done correctly, your actual lights should be red and your dummies should remain blue. That is really important, guys. Make sure you do not select the dummies. Go to display, reset to parent, and click anywhere in the screen. If done correctly, you should again only have 2 sets of axes in the center of the dummy. If you've got to this stage and you still have your lights selected like that and the dummies are still blue, you can come up to the top here into properties and open up the scale box like this, the little plus button here. Before we go any further, we want to come to the bottom right and ensure that pivot is off like that. It should look like that. Come back to the scale and we want to scale it by 0.01 on each axis. Like that. Once it is 0.01 on each axis, click apply and you will see that your lights have become absolutely tiny. But the most important thing to see is that light in the middle of the axes? Yes, it is. Now the next step entirely depends on what you're doing with your vehicle. So with reverse lights, obviously they're on the rear of the vehicle, whereas with headlights they're in the front. From my previous tutorials, guys, if you followed correctly, you'll understand that any light on the back of the vehicle needs to be rotated by 180 degrees. So as these reverse lights are on the rear of the vehicle, I need to come to modify, select X and Y, rotate, open up this little pop-up box here and make sure that you have rotate geometry and rotate axes on, and affect children and rotate normals is off. Then come to your top view, just click on the screen which will open up this little box and simply type 180. Now you might not see a difference, but it's flipped it around so it's facing the other way now. Because how non-ELS work, guys, is the lights are always on, but non-ELS, what it does is it tells the game to scale the light up and down, back to normal and rotate it around. The rotations essentially affects the environmental lighting, so if you do not rotate it and you do not edit the Carcols.meta correctly, all of your lights are just going to be facing forward and all of your environmental lighting is going to be going forward as well. It will look really horrible, so just make sure you do it correctly. Once you've got to this stage, guys, you're almost there. What we need to do now is we simply just need to LOD the lights. So come up here to structure, make sure that you have nothing selected here, so L0 is not selected, nothing is selected, and you want to do it 1 siren at a time. So we're going to click on siren 1, we're going to click convert to compound, lock and L0, and we're going to drag the non-bold siren 1 into this little box here. If you've done that correctly, guys, you should have default and L0 and siren 1 should be bold and there should not be anything inside of siren 1. Once you've clarified that that's done correctly, simply press L0 again, unlock it, and then simply click on the siren 2 like this, and we're going to do the exact same again. So make sure that nothing is selected up here, click convert to compound, lock, press L0 and drag the siren 2 mesh into the little window here. And again, if you've done it correctly, siren 2 should now be bold and there's nothing inside it, and you should see default and L0 in here. If you clarified that that's correct, simply unlock and L0. And that is it mostly done, guys. Your lights are now officially set up within Zmodeler to work in game. We're going to have to do a lot of tweaking on the vehicles and the Carcols.meta, however we're going to come to that shortly. So the one final step here, guys, is we simply want to put siren 1 and 2, which is the reverse lights, we want to put them inside of the boot to make sure that when you open the boot, the lights will also move with the boot. One quick important step, guys, is if you are doing this and you know how to UV map and you have UV mapped them a different colour, for example if you want them to flash blue or red, you need to make sure that the material that you have made for the blue or red lights is at the top of the material browser. This makes sure that the glass on whatever lens you've put it in does not override the lights and it actually flashes over that. However, if you're just doing it with the reverse lights like I am, you don't have to do that step because it will already be above because it shares the same material as the actual reverse lights. So the final step, guys, will be to export the vehicle. So simply come to your hierarchy here and you want to copy the name that you have put it as. Click the export button up here. Go to your folder wherever you're saving it. paste the file name there, make sure that it's locked, save thumbnail, skeletal, and export LOD is set to highest only. Click export. I've already saved it, so it's asking me to override it. I'm going to click yes, and yes again. And as you can see, down here at the bottom, if you've done it correctly, you should have a blue icon saying exported highest LOD only. You may have some yellow errors, ignore them, they're not important. Then simply rename it to the same name, but add _high at the end. You want to copy the name, go to export, and export it again with just that _high at the end, with the same settings. Click export, and that's your vehicle exported. Simply save your project so you don't lose your progress, and I'm now going to meet you in the Carcols.meta. Okay guys, so you now join me in Notepad++, and what we need to do, essentially, we need to write down the pattern that we want the lights to flash in. There are tools out there which will write your own codes and patterns for you, however, I don't like them. I'd rather do it manually myself so I know exactly what to expect when I get into game. So essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to open a note folder, anything that you can just write text down on, and we're going to write Siren 1 and Siren 2 in 2 separate lines. Now essentially how Grand Theft Auto works with Non-Els, it works in a binary 32-bit binary code, so essentially it works in ones and zeros. So 1 would be the light being on and 0 would be the light being off. For example, if I wrote 1010, the light will turn on, off, on, off. Now this is a 32-bit binary code, so essentially I'd have to write it 32 times. So if I wanted it to turn just on and off over and over and over again, I would write 101010, and I'd make sure it's 32 characters long, just like that. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to have Siren 1, which is one of the reverse lights. That's going to turn on, off, on, off, on, off. And then the other reverse light, which is on the other side, I want it to do the same, but I want it to alternate. So once you've written the code for Siren 1, and we have seen that it goes on, off, so on and so forth, and we know it's 32 digits long, we want to do Siren 2. Now Siren 2 is also the reverse light, but it's just the other side, so we want it to alternate, meaning that we want Siren 2 to be off when Siren 1 is on, so it's going to be 0, and when Siren 2 is on, Siren 1 is off. Now we just repeat that pattern until we get to a 32-bit sequence, so it will just be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and as you can see, it's lined up, so when Siren 1 is on, Siren 2 is off. When Siren 2 is on, Siren 1 is off. It's as simple as that. That is how sirens work. So I'm just going to copy and paste the rest of this until I get to 32, just like that. Now once you've written your patterns, we're simply just going to create a new little line here, and we want to identify whether we need to rotate it. So as we've rotated Siren 1 and 2 by 180 degrees, we are also going to need to set the Carcols to rotate it to 180 degrees. So this whole document here, this is not the Carcols, this is simply just us making a note of the pattern and the rotations. And then finally we're going to write what colour the light is, and it's white. So there we have it, white. The next step guys, we're going to have to convert this binary code into a decimal number. Now that sounds really complex, but it's very straightforward. Essentially, you want to come to this website, which I've left in the description. It's called Rapid Tables, and you want to go to a binary to decimal conversion. Copy one of your binary numbers and paste it in there, click convert, and get the decimal number here. Just simply copy it, and then just add it onto the line like that, and do the same for Siren 2. Just like that. Okay guys, so once we've written our little notes here of what we want to do, we want to open up our Carcols, so I will see you in the Carcols file shortly. Okay guys, so you now join me within the Carcols file for my vehicle. Now there's a couple of things that you need to really importantly look at here, and one is the ID value. You need to make sure that you remember this ID value and make it a digit that you'll remember. So for that reason, I've just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll come back to this shortly and explain why that's important. The next important one you want to have a look at is your sequence of BPM. Now this is how fast your lights are going to flash a minute. So 1650 is extremely fast. This is something that you're going to have a little play around with to make sure it fits what you're going for your vehicle. I'm going to set mine to 850 just for the purpose of this video. The name of your Carcols, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be the vehicle name. I've just put reverse lights so we know what vehicle it corresponds to. This template guys, I will leave in the video description in a folder. The first thing we want to do guys is we want to come down to Siren 1. As we can see, Siren 1 is listed here, and in this Carcols it goes all the way down to Siren 32. Now Sirens 20 through to 32 would only work if you have the Siren Settings Limit Adjuster installed, so make sure you install that as it's a great script to use. So what we want to do is we want to come down to Siren 1, which is here, and we want to come down to flashiness. Rotation is only if you use rotating lights, which on this occasion we are not. So we're down here at flashiness, and what we need to do is we need to set the sequencer. So as we can see here, this value is the sequencer. The sequencer is essentially your 32-bit binary code that you have just made. So if we come back to our previous folder, go to Siren 1 and copy that binary number and simply place it in there. That's the lighting pattern for that siren set up completely. We're going to scroll down a bit more, come to Siren 2, flashiness, and we're going to do the exact same. We're going to copy that value we made earlier and just paste it in there. However, we are not done there. The next thing we've got to do is we need to set the delta. Now essentially the delta is the rotation value. If you're making headlights flash or front indicators flash, you won't have to do this, or you just have to make sure it's set to 0 like that. However, because we've rotated it by 180 degrees, we need to set the delta value to make sure that GTA knows that they need to rotate that light 180 degrees for it to flash properly. Now the delta value, there's all sorts of different values and it's all very mathematical. However, in the description I've left a link to the cheat sheet where you can find the delta values. So here we are on my Non-Els cheat sheet, and we want to go to our rotation values here, and as we can see we rotated by 180 degrees. So I'm simply just going to copy this value, go back to the Carcols, go to flashiness and set the delta value to be what I've just copied like that. And as we rotated Siren 1 as well, we want to go to Siren 1 and do the exact same thing. The final thing we're going to do in the Carcols, guys, is we're going to make sure that the colour of the value is correct. Each siren has what's called a corona, and the corona needs to be the right colour, otherwise it's going to flash a completely different colour to what you want it to be. If you come down here to colour value, we can see that we currently have this one set. Now I've been doing modelling and this stuff for a very long time, and I know off by heart that that value is red. We do not want it to be red, we want it to be white as it's a reverse light. So simply come back to the cheat sheet, we're going to go to the white colour value here and we're going to copy it, go back to the Carcols and just paste it over. We're going to do the same for Siren 2, as we know that Siren 2 is also going to be white. So once you've set your colour values, your delta values and your sequencer values, and you've made sure you've written down the number here, the ID value, and you've made sure you set your sequencer BPM to something that you're going to like, you can now save this file. And that's all you need to do for the Carcols file. The next thing we need to do is go to the Carvariations file, and we need to make sure that the Carcols value that we have just set is set to the vehicle, so the car knows what Carcols it needs to run from. Okay guys, here you join me in the Carvariations.meta file. You want to make sure that your model name is set to the one you exported. You want to scroll all the way to the bottom. Once you're at the bottom, you want to go to the siren setting value, and you want to make sure it's set to the one that you have just set. My one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set it to whatever one you have just set it as. Simply just save that, and you are now done with the Carvariations.meta. So if you're with me so far, guys, you should have your vehicle files, your vehicle textures, you should have edited your Carcols, your Carvariations, and your vehicle meta should be set to your liking. I'm going to be running this on a 5M server. If you'd like to see how to make a 5M server and how to set up development resources for your 5M server, please do join the Patreon, as there is a video tutorial there. Anyways guys, I'm going to load up in the game now and show you what everything looks like. Okay guys, you now join me in my 5M test server. So we're going to go to the V menu, vehicle related options, vehicle spawner, spawn vehicle, and I'm simply going to spawn the car, and here we have it. The vehicle is spawned, and now if I press Q or E, whichever lighting activation you guys use, it should simply just turn the lights on. And there you go guys, the lights are now flashing. Now another cool feature, because we rotated the lights and made sure that the car knew the lights were rotated, if we turn the lights on and we look behind us, as we can see, we have working environmental lights. They actually work as if they are flashing, which is pretty cool, and it just puts your model that much further to being a good model. Anyway guys, that's it for this tutorial. I do hope that you have managed to follow along correctly and that your car also looks like this, or even better. If you're having any problems, please do join the Patreon and you'll get exclusive support, further tutorials, further assets, and much more. I couldn't encourage you more to join. It is the perfect time to join. We are uploading almost daily at the moment, and there is so much help there to be had. Anyways guys, I'm McGinley Customs. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.